Hello and welcome back to Ravenloft Storytime. Let us finish our history lesson. In the beginning of the 8th century, half a dozen new domains joined the court, including Dimentlu, which would rapidly become the hub of northwestern culture, and Sifficus, ruled by a skulking Black Knight rumored to possess terrible powers. Political unrest flared in several regions as the rulers of both Borca and Invidia met their ends at the hands of assassins, and Novavas's prince Alfmar seized illegal control of his realm. Yet none of these events defined the era like the Dead Man campaign. Until Drakov appeared, open warfare had been unknown in the Land of the Mists. All lords are connected to land of their domains, unable to travel past their borders. This stopped a lot of military warfare, since the generals would prefer to be with their soldiers. As the 8th century began, however, Drakov drove his armies in Darkon no fewer than 4 times. Every invasion ended in crushing failure as Aslin's undead minions effortlessly decimated the Falkovian ranks. Each defeat only intensified Drakov's rage. Again and again he marched his citizens to the slaughter. By the end of the 4th invasion, Falkovnia had lost thousands of its sons, but Drakov still had yet to claim a single foot of Darkonian soil. Darkonians and Falkovnians alike came to call Drakov's failed conquests the Dead Man's Campaign, for only the dead had added to their holdings. Although no history book records it, another event of quite significance occurred in this era. After a scheming Vistani clan and a sadistic vampire destroyed his family, a humble Darkonian doctor, Rudolf von Richten, dedicated his life to combating the monstrous horrors of the night. During the decades of his work, Dr. von Richten would expose the weaknesses of Ravenloft's horrors and create a legacy of knowledge and wisdom. According to most accounts, the Vistani seer Hiskosa first recorded his prophecy predicting a cataclysmic Grand Conjunction in the year 735. However, the Vistani do not seem to flow through the time as others do, and copies of Hiskosa's Hexad have been found dating back at least a century. More certain is that Aslin learned of Hiskosa's omens in this year, and in them saw an opportunity. Still driven by his outlander desire to escape to his own world, Aslin manipulated events over the next 5 years to fulfill the prophecies and bring the Grand Conjunction to its premature fruition. Vistani call Hiskosa a Dukar, a male Vistana born with a sight and fated to bring destruction to his people. When the Grand Conjunction was triggered in the summer of 740, it threatened to turn Ravenloft inside out. As the Land of Mists was racked by tremors and entire domains dissolved into vapor, the mists of Ravenloft spread throughout the material plane to doom countless outlander worlds. Fortunately, Aslin's manipulation of the natural order of the events weakened the Grand Conjunction enough to allow a band of adventurers to cause its collapse. The material plane was saved, but the Realm of Dread did not escape unscathed. Core domains were wrenched into new positions, rivers altered their courses, the stars even changed their pattern. Several core domains were absorbed by their neighbors. Darkon consumed Iraq, Borca merged with Arvenia, Verbeck absorbed Arkandal, and Gondrak was divided between Invidia and Barovia. Several domains broke off from the core to become islands of terror, or vice versa. The most startling effect, however, was the creation of Shadow Rift, a vast and bottomless chasm that now lies where the core domains of Gehenna and Markovia once lay. Even years later, most denizens of the Realm of Dread still know nothing about the true events behind the Grand Conjunction. Having seen only the chaos it wrought, most people call it the Great Upheaval and speculate wildly as to its cause. Most sages agree that the aftershocks of the Grand Conjunction may still be subtly reshaping the Land of the Mists. This era was marked by the Great Upheaval's most visible after-effects, the formation of new clusters. The domains of Shrirajji, Sorogos, and Wildlands were first, emerging from the Vendros lands. In following years, other domains would melt to create the Ember Wastes, the Shadowlands, and the Frozen Reaches. Many folk began to re-examine their roles in the world. Clerics of Tempest declared an inquisition to wipe out the Fae, blaming those spirits for the apparent destructions of Gehenna and Markovia. Clerics of Ezra in Darkon warned against a prophesied time of unparalleled darkness, when all but the faithful would be destroyed in a flood of evil. After having persecuted the use of arcane magic in his realm for decades, the Lord of Hazlan suddenly reversed his position, establishing a school of wizardry. The Black Knight of Sifficus is said to have fallen into despair, never leaving his ruined keep. Political unrest emerged in southern Kor again, as Malocchio Adere, described by the Vistani as the new Dukar, suddenly appeared and seized control of Envidia. Forging a military alliance with Falkovnia, Adere has since been sending his mercenaries into neighboring domains to hunt the Vistani, even when those neighbors threatened armed reprisals. Unseen by most, a secret society spread throughout the northern Kor, working towards the terrible event that would end the era. This cabal, the Ebonfold, used enchanted daggers to steal the souls of unwitting victims, then smuggled the accumulated life force to its master, Azalin, still pursuing his dreams of escape. The grim harvest would claim hundreds of lives before its conclusion. After a decade of experimentation, Azalin completed a magical artifact that would empower him with the energy of thousands of stolen souls, allowing him to finally burst free from the realm of dread. At the stroke of midnight, on night of the winter solstice in the year 750, during a religious ceremony called Requiem, Azalin activated the artifact in the heart of Darkon's largest city. A wave of negative energy burst from the artifact and expanded across all of Darkon. Every living creature within a mile of Sakanaluk was instantly slain and animated into undeath, and a spiritual shroud settled over the kingdom. Azalin vanished and was presumed slain. His throne remained empty for years as local nobles squabbled for control, and a spectral entity claiming to be death itself laid claim to Sakanaluk. Azalin was not the only public figure to fall. The aged Rudolf van Richten had already vanished without a trace in the spring of 750 after enjoying 8 years of peaceful retirement. In the autumn of 752, a mass of living, shrieking shadows smashed into keep of Sifficus' ruler, destroying him. The Knight Seneschal, a brutal dwarf named Azrael, quickly seized control of his master's holdings. As each crown fell, the fear of the populace grew. More and more people gave credence to doomsayers and the prophecy of the oncoming ultimate darkness. A few arcane sages have even speculated that the planar cycle that started with the creation of Barovia may have ended its period of expansion, and that the future will bring nothing but continual decay. The Land of Mists is not yet doomed, however. Not all omens point towards destruction. Van Richten's legacy has not been forgotten, and not all kings are equally slain. Shortly after Azlin's apparent demise, Vlad Drakov invaded Darkon for the first time in decades. The undead still rose to defeat his armies, and legends emerged to claim that Azlin was not truly gone. As the years passed, more and more Darkonians received irregular visions of the fallen leader as he struggled to return from beyond. Death also seemed to sense Azlin's presence and dispatched undead minions to stop the wizard's return, to no avail. Late in the summer of this year, Azalin triumphantly returned to the world. He now claims that his attempt to stop the Requiem, supposedly an invasion of the dead into the world of the living, physically trapped him in the Grey Realm, the land of the dead the Darkonians believe in, until he could find his way home. Azalin has returned to find his kingdom in shambles, and has publicly sworn to restore Darkon to its former glory. These are uncertain times for the Realm of Dread. A growing sentiment among its people holds that the world is steadily creeping towards some inexorable fate, but no one knows what that fate will be. Doom prophets speak of the time of unparalleled darkness, predicted to arrive in a scant 20 years. The clerics of the Morning Lord proclaim that the long night that fell on Barovia in 351 will finally reach its glorious dawn. One thing is certain: whether Ravenloft's fate lies in darkness or light, it will be mortals, be they heroes or villains, who choose its destiny. And this is it. Thank you everyone who's stuck around, and please leave a like and comment, the usual stuff. And remember, when the white frost comes, do not eat the yellow snow.